And I also believe that maybe even music will get a little bit more undressed, a little bit back to the MTV Unplugged era again, where it is a meritocracy and people that are really talented want to show that off and they want to show it live and they want to like express that. I think that's what we got. It's always a reaction, in the end. And I agree with you. I think AI music is great for elevators or public places where people don't care about it. But when you want to get emotional connection, like it has to be real. And that's not gonna change. Like people will use AI tool to create these things, but not like give me a hit song. Like I don't know what that means, to be honest. There's so many other senses all that we bring in when we make a decision. And the other things I would say is that it's never been more money in the music industry than now. But on the other hand, it's never been more competition than now. Which means that like there's a lot of artists that people don't know about. There are mid-tier artists that owns their rights or on Spotify, and they generate money months after months after year and just continue building catalog. So when people trying to take a cost of like a retail album, which by the way, people keep forgetting that like an average royalty was 8%, like which was a fraction. And even conversation when I have with artists as legacy big artists saying like, yeah, like we were one of the biggest band in the world, but that major owns us and our royalty is 15%. So even if the album was released, 25 years ago, and now it becomes a massive success, 85% of all the money they're bringing in is going to that record label, even if they, you know, broke even millions of years ago, I was about to say. So there's two things. I think if the agreement in the music industry would have been built in a way they should have, like people, they revert the rights after a certain time because there was no really value. I mean, streaming created the value of back catalog. Can you imagine how much money that will come back to all these amazing artists that, believe they can never make money out of their recordings and suddenly like they would just I think the conversation about Spotify would have been completely different. And that is what I
Mhm.
think the mismatch on it. But I keep saying that like an AI solution where that kind of transaction happens when you're listening would be incredible.